Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know there was not a lot of notice for this video, but that's because Jen Shah just did an interview with Up and Adam and we got a lot of tea from that. So give you guys a second to maybe come to the room because I know, like I said, I didn't give anyone much of a notice, but since we saw Salt Lake City last night and Jen Shah was on Up and Adam kind of creating her own after show, I thought that you guys might want to chat. So while I still remember everything I want to tell you, I took notes though so that we could really break it down. So I'll just start here by saying, first of all, everything in this video is alleged. And also we're going to be talking about Jen Shah and, possibly her going away from her family for a long time, years, possibly a decade. So we just want to be, I'm going to try to be sensitive to how I speak and the words that I use, just so I don't get demonetized as well. I don't have any guests planned for today, sadly, but we'll be back with another guest probably next week. So let's go ahead and get started. Before we do though, when you come to the room, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, turn your notifications on. Make sure my comments are on. Perfect. All right, guys. So we saw last night's episode. I would love if you would drop in the chat what you thought of last night's episode. Go ahead and rate it on a grading scale of like A to F, okay? We saw Heather and this choir that she's trying to put together, and people are not really liking, like viewers feel like it's kind of like, it's a fill-in, if you will. I mean, not even. It just, last night's episode I didn't think was really amazing. There was like a whole 15 minutes spent on the men that were at Coach Shah's house, and that felt a little bit inauthentic. It felt like Real Housewives of Salt Lake City producers were trying to produce men like they would in New Jersey. Like they're trying to form this like brohood, this bro gentlemen's club between the husbands of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So much so that we got 15 minutes of it last night. I did not think that needed to be in there. I saw a comment on Twitter and someone said, Jen Shah is like about to get sentenced to prison, and here we are watching these men, cook a big piece of meat and barbecue it. Hey Julie, how are you? Thanks for joining. Hopefully you guys have been following Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We're getting such mixed ratings on people liking it and not liking it that I've been skeptical to review. But considering that Jen Shah did an interview with Up and Adam that went live earlier, guys, and she told us a lot of tea about how things work. She talked about how she basically, got signed up for the Real Housewives. She auditioned with a production company, and, Heather Gay had kind of given her the phone number, set everything up. She went and was interviewed, and when she heard that it could have been Bravo affiliated, she said, like, I don't want anything to do with the Housewives. And so allegedly she didn't even know that she was going to be filming for the Real Housewives until 2 months before filming actually happened. Which is, I don't know. I mean, how much in advance are you supposed to know if you're going to be filming or not? I guess you do pilots, I would assume. Jen Shah talked about Mary Crosby, and she also spoke about some of the new ladies, Angie K, and she really kind of spilled some tea, guys, about Lisa Barlow and just some different things that really made sense. So we'll definitely get into all of that. Also wanted to talk about Justin, Whitney's husband. Do you guys like him, or does he like give you a little bit of a cringe vibe? Like, I don't know how to take him. Is he a good guy? Is he not a good guy? Him in last night's episode, he kind of just, I don't know. They do confessionals with their husbands. That doesn't seem necessary to me either. Maybe like a confessional for Coach Shah, just because of the fact that, if everything's going on with Jen, we would like to kind of hear his perspective and the kids and what he's going through, because his wife's about to get sentenced to prison. Hey, Shay. And then, all of the men together, again, they force this unauthentic scene between John Barlow and Meredith's husband. Did you guys not think that the scene between Seth and John Barlow was very inauthentic is what it seemed like. They went outside. It was freezing cold outside. Justin says that there was a lot of tension in the room. I'm not sure if I necessarily believe that. I think the men were probably just uncomfortable because Bravo obviously was forcing all of them to film. I mean, all of them are present. These men travel all the time, so it seems a little bit peculiar that literally everyone's husband was available to hang out with Coach Shah that day. Also, the scene with Jen, well, I guess we could talk a little bit more. I really hate that they have two Angies. I'm going to be honest. I don't like that we have two Angies. It confuses viewers. Neither of them are full-time. And I just think that it's confusing for people to, keep track of Angie K and Angie Harrington. FYI, here's a little bit of tea. Jen Shah said that Angie K, not the one who had the husband that did the fake Finsta, the other one, has been trying out for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City for 4 years. And allegedly this is the first time they've given her an opportunity to film. Considering the circumstances, I think Salt Lake City is trying to build a rapport between some women because they know when Jen Shah leaves, that's going to be a really big chunk of drama. Jen has been there since day one, so she has camaraderie and history with all of these women, and it is, viewers see that, they can pick up on that, they can relate to it. So if Jen leaves and she's unable to film another season, it doesn't make sense that they would just throw women in the mix. It's just not going to vibe. It probably feel a lot like the Real Housewives of Orange County, which people have been saying it's very inauthentic. Julie says, I'm super excited to see you covering Real Housewives of Dubai? DLX? DLX? I'm not sure who they are, Julie. Real Housewives of DLX? Probably a typo. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is probably what she meant to say. LOL. I really feel like we're getting Heather. Do you guys think that Heather is fake? I want to know in the comments. Do you guys really believe that, is it coming full circle and Heather's about to really take a fall here? Number one, producers are teasing us with this black eye. I don't think that anyone gave it to her. I think she's going to tell us some wild, obnoxious story about how she fell or she bumped her head or she was drunk, but I don't think it's going to be Whitney Rose hit me in the face in the bathroom and now I have this huge black eye. I just don't believe that. Not for 1 second. Jen Shah. Okay, well, let's also touch on Meredith. We meet Meredith's sister, okay? And I actually thought that she seemed to be very relatable. And I think audience might like her. I don't know if it would be possible for her to film or where she lives full time, but I actually enjoyed the scene between Meredith and her sister, and I liked her sister's vibe. I love that, I guess this event is going to be about suicide prevention or mental health, something along those lines, which I am all in support of. A lot of suicide in my family personally, including my mother. So, I definitely support anything that's going to support mental health and suicide awareness. So I love that, number one. And then I also love that they're going to shed a little bit of light on, a son that is dealing with an addiction and a mother who has seen her son go through addiction, and cover a little bit of that, because I do think there's lots and lots of people that are dealing with somebody in their family. And so maybe you could shed a little bit of light and help someone, educate someone, anything like that. Anyways, I think that the sister was I liked their dynamic. I liked the sisters together. I couldn't tell which one do you think is older. Is Meredith older? Is the sister older? Kids out there, do not drink bleach. I thought that was a little peculiar too, Karma, actually. I don't know. I mean, it's, we see alcoholics that drink hand sanitizer. I mean, they'll drink, sometimes rubbing alcohol, depending on how severe their addiction is to alcohol. So we also know that there's people that have mental health issues that, they eat things that are very peculiar that none of us would understand. And it's related to mental health. Hey, Callie. Hey, we were just talking about Meredith and her sister and how much I loved seeing her sister on the show. And Meredith is having this fundraiser. And I think the fundraiser, thank you, Selma. The fundraiser was actually going to like be suicide awareness or mental health, awareness, something along those lines, because the nephew, which would be Meredith's nephew, but her sister's son, was dealing with addiction issues, which they don't mention what his, the exact nature of his addiction, but she says that he actually tries to unalive himself with bleach. Meredith says that in her confessional, which I want to tell you though, Jen backed that up in the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City when she did I just want to refer to it as the after show. It was on Up and Adam. He did a great job interviewing her, and she was really great during the interview. I mean, she said a couple of things. I was literally picking my jaw up off the ground. I'm not joking. I'm going to tell you guys about it when it comes time, because she was kind of like shit talking, but it was kind of funny. I'm just saying, it was a little bit funny. Anyways, if you guys don't know, she was not included in Bravo's after show. And she explained that the ladies film at different times. They film their confessionals at different times. Sorry, I was reading one of these notes. Karma says, Jen is turning back to season 1. Jen drama can have an opinion. Yeah, Dana can have an opinion. Where does they go? Oh, so the ladies, when they film their confessionals or when they do the after show, like they film at different times. The only person that you know to be filming is if you are sitting next to them filming. So Jen had no clue. Nobody from Bravo reached out to her to address it. And she, obviously knew that or thought that they were going to be, filming the after show because they had done it the season prior. So she understood that certain times comes time for the after show. And so when the episode came out, she felt probably a little bit betrayed by Bravo. She basically said, like, if you don't want to include me or if our engagements have ended, then don't include me in the drama. Don't use me in all of like the publicity that you're doing and all the promos that you're doing, and don't use me then. And then of course it brings it to the table. Are they going to leave her out of the reunion? I mean, people of course bring up the defense that, we have Teresa and Joe Giudice who served time in penitentiary, and Bravo waited for Teresa, and, she's paid her restitution. She's done her time, and she's, obviously paid her price. But Bravo seemed to be a lot more supportive of that situation than it seems to be of Jen's, situation. I don't know. Is it worse to be convicted or is it worse to plead guilty? It's all kind of, they're all in the judicial system for mishandling funds, allegedly, whatever they're in there for. It just seems like Bravo, I don't know why they do that. And Jen is making really great points when she's saying, like, what are they going to have to talk about? How are they going to have a reunion without me? Because again, we only have part-time Angie K, part-time Angie H, Dana and Lisa and Meredith, Whitney and Heather. And it doesn't seem like that would make for a very good reunion. What do you guys think? Would you want to see a reunion without Jen Shah? The friends are doing more than... Karma's getting detention. She said the friends are doing more than the snowflake holders are. Angie H is desperate, says Selma. So funny. You guys make me laugh. I just want to know if you guys would watch a reunion without Jen Shah. I mean, every little bit of drama does seem to kind of somehow involve somewhat of her. I mean, except for Heather and Whitney's argument, but allegedly a lot of people are saying that that's not a genuine argument between Whitney and Heather. They don't think it's real. They think they did it for a storyline and to keep, attention. Because sometimes when you're like best friends with somebody on the show and you're ride or die, it can actually be detrimental, kind of like Tamara and Vicky. Vicky kind of got boring, so they let her go and kept Tamara. And we may see something like this happen with the Real Housewives of Potomac. People say it all the time. They want to see Robin and Giselle, like they want Robin to be gone and just have Giselle. Someone said Shah is likable. Kelly said, no, no, no. I'm just, with the choir when the women argue. Oh, and the choir thing, though, that seems so produced, which makes me feel like I get the feeling that Heather is somewhat of a people pleaser. And so sometimes when I think production comes to her, she is just like, yes, sure, yeah, okay, yeah, that sounds good. Yep, okay, choir, got you. Okay. Like, she's just not like, well, I don't know if the viewers would be entertained by a choir. Maybe, I have this going on at my business. It's something to fill up a void versus this choir. Okay, another thing, Jen Shah clears up the Mary Crosby story. She really told us a lot, guys. She said that Mary definitely didn't come to the reunion, but it was allegedly because she was uncomfortable around Jenny. She was a little bit nervous, if you will. And she had told Meredith and she had told, the other ladies, and this is going to go somewhere, I promise, that she couldn't explain one specific thing that Jenny had done, but as I think she said, as a Black woman in Salt Lake City, in Utah, and having lived there for 30 years, she can tell when someone doesn't like Black people. And she got that feeling from Jenny. Now, Jen also tells us, Up and Adam asked her a great question. He's like, fans couldn't understand how you forgave Meredith, like how you guys reconciled. You went from such a bad place to, such great friends this season. And she tells us that they had to sit down with Jenny, and Jen Shah was confronting her about the racist posts and such. And she said that Meredith showed up, but Lisa Barlow did not. And they did film it, it just didn't make the cut. So Jen said that when Meredith showed up, like that really meant something to her. And, considering that Lisa had helped put Jenny on the show and they had been friends for a decade, Jen would have anticipated seeing Lisa there to defend Jenny. That makes sense, I think. Also, last night's episode, did you guys know that Lisa Barlow doesn't film in her house? I'm not hating on her. And I understand why security, we know the Kardashians didn't film in their real house. And we've heard of this with other housewives before, sometimes. Maybe Dorinda's apartment in New York City, something like that. But allegedly, Lisa Barlow that's not her real house that we're seeing. It's a stage home. I don't know if they rent it during the time that they're filming. I'm not sure, but allegedly this entire time, they really haven't been comfortable with cameras being in their house and people knowing where they live and what things look like and the layout. So they don't film in their house. That was a little shocking to me because I would have thought that, I don't know, Lisa, I don't want to say like they're like showy in a bad way, but like she's not afraid to wear a Tom Ford label. She's not afraid to like show when she has nice clothes and nice things. So it just, I don't know, if her house was really nice, I feel like she would want to show it off. I mean, that's typically why the housewives film in their homes, because it's their home. So they've made it the way they want it, and it's like expensive, and so they want to show it off. Heather and Lisa's relationship is odd. It's based on who has control. Yeah, not good. Heather, I think she was really a fan favorite, and I really did love her the first couple of seasons, but this year she's left a little bit of a taste in my mouth. Also wanted to say that, let me see here. Oh, so she referred to Dana as Dana Banana. No, that's not how she said it. Donna Banana. Is that how she said it? Did anyone hear the interview? She was saying to Dana, she was calling Adam, like said something, brought up the newbie, and she was like, oh, you mean Dana Banana? I was like, what? my jaw like hit the floor. I was like, oh my gosh. Did she just say that? And then she was like, oh yeah, girl, like she was just talking really badly on purpose to like basically give her that respectful disrespect, but she still was like was it Donna Banana or Dana Bananas? That's what she called her. She referred to, because you guys know there was all sorts of drama at Bravocon. Remember, Teddy and Tamara claimed that Jen had showed up at their hotel room. Oh, well, it was more so Tamara, but they put it on their podcast at Force. Tamara did an interview at Bravocon, I think at Watch What Happens Live, after the red carpet, and she said that Jen had showed up at her hotel room ready to crash Bravocon. Yeah, that's what she said, that Jen was going to crush not Bravocon, but Watch What Happens Live. And Jen said that she had already been like, she didn't go and take part at the big entertainment, I don't even know, arena. She said that security didn't think that was a safe place for her to be, considering everything's going on with her charges. Karma says when he has dirty floors. Karma, I'm gonna give you detention. I know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel bad for Justin. I don't know. Do you guys think he's back on top? He looks like he's aged like 20 years and like since they started filming. That's how I feel. I really feel like the man looks like he's aged like a ton. And also, they were at the Javits Center. So Bravocon was at the Javits Center. So Jen Shah did not take part in anything that was going on in the Javits Center because of security. But what was she did something though that she was there for. I can't remember exactly. They just didn't want her in the Javits Center. And she said that her and her team had already made arrangements at a different hotel because she had other obligations in New York City, because Heather was also doing like a book signing, book tour, book panel, something along those lines, and Jen was helping her out appearing at that. So she was already in New York City and then had prior engagements on top of that. So she said that Bravo has honored her contract thus far, and they paid her for her episode. She's still getting paid. So I don't think she wanted to say too much, but I definitely think that she came with boss girl energy, and she wasn't afraid to say basically like, if you're not going to have me on the after show and you're not going to give me an opportunity to defend myself, then leave me out of your episodes, out of your promos, or I'm going to come on here and do my own after show. And that's basically what she did. She really didn't hold back. She really talked a lot about, oh my gosh, called Dana Banana, and Angie K Wonder Bread, because they're the butt and the bussy, which I've never heard of a bussy. So I guess that's the other end of the bread. Like, that's what she said. And then she held up 2 pieces of the bread and then threw them like this. Like she had props ready. It was kind of cute. But the best one that got me, and you guys will appreciate this because I know most of you are not huge Teddy Mellencamp fans. But she said, so when she gets to New York City for Bravocon, she calls Heather. Heather gives the room number, and Jen goes there, and it turns out there's like 20 people in this hotel room. And she says, and who's there when I open the door? I don't even know if I can say it. She said 2 PUSSYS in a pod. Instead of 2 P's in a pod, she said 2 PUSSYS in a pod. I was like, oh my gosh, Jen. You're going to make these people angry. Karma said, don't even mention Teddy. Don't even mention that woman's name. I told you. She's going to be back on Beverly Hills. She's got 2 producers that think she can make it. She can come back. And now she's got bringing her dad along to events, because it's like, okay, Teddy, we'll let you come on Bravocon as long as you bring your dad. Okay. Teddy actually talks about in the 2 T's in a podcast how she had like a suite booked at the hotel. And when she arrived, they put her in this like little shitty tiny room. And she said, I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to have the suite. And they said, oh no, another Mellencamp called it and got that. And so she thought it was her dad. And here it was like her 25-year-old brother took her suite and he gave it to him. And she was like in this tiny room. I was like, wow, what does that say, Teddy? Even the hotel people don't like you, and they don't even know you like that. They just had to talk to you long enough to make your reservations. And they were like, oh man. Mm-mm. Hey, Krista. Yeah, the hotel told Teddy, like, we gave your suite away to a Mellencamp, but not telling her that it was actually her brother that they gave it to, who's 25 years old. So I thought that was pretty funny, but I don't think the actual episode with John Mellencamp has aired yet. I'm not quite sure why. I guess Andy is like pre-recording a lot of his Watch What Happens lives, allegedly because he has the 2 babies at home, so it's harder for them to do the late shows. I guess it wouldn't even really start till 10 o'clock at night. Lisa Barlow was on Watch What Happens live. I think it was last night. I really can't remember what day it is because they had aired the first 6 minutes or 3 minutes of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So when I kept watching the episode, I was trying to watch it and it would take me to the scene of Lisa, John, and the boys in their house. Well, it's not really their house, but the house that's staged to be their house. And I kept thinking, this is last week's episode. What the heck is going on? Like, and then I would, exit out and go out of my app and restart. And I still kept getting that same episode until I basically had to get 15 minutes into it for it to be anything new that wasn't a preview or something that had already been aired on Instagram. So I think producers are really losing that way, because the week before, actually Potomac did the same thing. We saw like 5 minutes of the episode before that we had already seen in the new episode. And then if you take that 5 minutes and add it to the 15 minutes that Salt Lake City used on the men, who were not really talking about anything that significant besides the scene between John and Seth when they go outside in the freezing cold to talk, which makes no sense. I don't know. I just feel like it would make more sense to find them another area of the house and let them go film them there instead of going outside in the freezing cold in Utah. That made no sense to me at all. A lot of hate coming towards Whitney and the ladies accusing Heather of always forgetting things, because if you guys watched last night's episode, Heather calls the women for the choir, and when she calls, Whitney's like, oh, I just thought you would still be upset with me since you basically pushed me out of your house the other day. And Heather's like, oh, no, I'm not upset with you. And then she followed up. Producers made it seem like she followed up with another phone call. The next person down the list was Lisa, who was also, like, aren't you upset with me? Didn't we have words the last time I seen you? And now, you want me to come try out for your choir. Lisa Barlow also graced us with another version of Away in a Manger. I mean, she just sang it again. So it really wasn't another version, but it was just her singing it again. I mean, I think it's cute. I do. I think Lisa's very pretty, like baby gorgeous, but I don't know. I just cringe when people sing and it's like not beautiful, like amazing. I feel like you're either not a good singer or you are a good singer. I mean, Candace wouldn't even sing for Nicki Minaj on the reunion, and Lisa Barlow is throwing her shoulders back and just belting her soprano Away in a Manger song. Also, when they were filming, was it Christmas time? Because I feel like that doesn't sound right, does it? I wonder if I can look that up really quickly. When are they filming for this season of Salt Lake City? The only thing I can correlate with the time frame would be whenever Mary Crosby's brother was on Sherelle's World, because I remember that the ladies went to the church to film, and there were pictures of Jen and Heather outside of Mary Crosby's church with the uncle, and eventually the camera was on the uncle. He was just signing the release, right? Film season 4 or 3? It premiered on September 28th, but was primarily filmed in Salt Lake City. But it doesn't say when it was actually filmed. I should be able to find some sort of headline. Let me Google the Mary Crosby situation. Heather and Jen outside of Mary Crosby's Utah church filming. I think TMZ picks it up. Daily Mail, one of them. Filming with Bravo. It looks like December of 2020. So, you know what? Maybe it was around Christmas time that Lisa Barlow was auditioning for the choir, and that's why she chose Away in a Manger. Does that make sense? Oh my goodness, so wild. These people are wild. And Jen, just confirmed what we already knew about Mary, that she didn't come to the reunion. And so automatically in her contract, they do have a clause that you're fired if you don't come to the reunion. But she said that she didn't come to the reunion because Mary was uncomfortable around Jenny. There had been the glass that was thrown was really close to Mary, and glass had hit her, which I don't remember. I mean, I remember that I think seeing that. And Mary was like kind of by herself, and like Jenny threw a glass at her, and it just seemed like Mary was just by herself. Like there was nobody even really around her. Remember, she went to the party and she was like walking around and no one was really like talking to her. Does that sound familiar from last season? Let's see. Jenna says, I love Lisa this season. Lisa has a lot of fans. Did you guys, this might be a good one. Did you guys read the messages or the tweets between Meredith and Jen? Or no, I'm sorry, Meredith and Lisa. Oh, they're good, guys. They are so good. Let me see if I shared them so I can read them to you. They were tweeting at each other last night. And I love when people catch this. I have so much respect when they do that and they put it together in a post, because that stuff takes time, guys. It takes time to screenshot it and make it into a post and just post it, posting it yourself. It's work, guys. Posting it to all your platforms. Let me see if I can try to pull it up real quick. I don't know if it's in my story though. Let me see here, guys. They were definitely going back and forth, and it was about the alleged affair between, allegedly, of course, Lisa's pissed because of this whole affair and the sexual favors things, and I don't know how much I can really say because of getting demonetized, but basically, she was tweeting with Meredith, and they were going back and forth, and Meredith kept saying, basically saying, I don't know anything about you having an affair. And then Lisa would come back and say something. And then Meredith would be like, I don't even know this man that you were, allegedly having this affair with. And then Lisa's like, I'm not having an affair. And Meredith replies and says something else, again. So, oh gosh, did I know if that was Garen Ugers? Damn it, I wish I would have had these ready for you guys. I'm sorry. How come I could find them all day today? Oh, I might be getting close. I feel like that looks familiar. Because we have everything. Everyone is talking about Real Housewives of New York right now. Andy Cohen made a statement about Bethany Frankel and how he is incredibly surprised that she's doing a podcast, because he said she's been talking negatively about the Housewives franchise for about 3 years now. And he said every time Bethany makes a comment, or says something negative, it makes the press or people, they send it to him, show him, whatever the case may be. He finds out and he knows. So he said that he thought it was really crazy that Bethany is doing a podcast on the Real Housewives, because when we were talking about two T's in a pod, Tamara can't do a podcast on the Real Housewives of Orange County, even though Heather can. Heather Dubrow, that is. And so Teddy and Tamara just didn't really understand that. And, if Teddy goes back, then Tamara would be forced to find a co-host to, share with her. But I don't think anybody wants to see Teddy back. Make sure you guys put in the comment and let me know what you rated last night's episode, A, B, C, D, or F. You can put minuses or pluses. Make sure you guys check out Up and Adam's podcast. Well, his YouTube channel. That is the interview he did with Jen. He did it today. And he did, a great job interviewing her. She got a lot of tea. So if you guys are interested, I don't want to recap his whole YouTube because he did a whole video with her and I don't want to give you guys everything. So, who likes Lisa? Raise your hand. Oh, that's funny. I wanted to tell you guys one more thing that was said. Oh, this is big. I hope you guys do go watch his podcast or his show because this is actually really big. Jen says that she found out about the fake Finsta account because Lisa texted her screenshots that was information on the whole thing that happened. I guess her messages with Angie K, right? So Lisa and Angie H, Angie Harrington, the one with the husband who makes the fake Finsta, they have a conversation, and I guess they must have told Lisa. Lisa forwards those to Jen, like trying to pump Jen up. Like, aren't you outraged? You need to confront this, la, 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 la. And so Jen was like, I don't understand why I have to confront it. You know what I'm saying? Like, didn't you bring her on, another person that Lisa brought onto the show, and I have to confront her when she made her husband made a fake Insta to go after you, not me. And so, okay. And so then Jen is the one that has to, confront Angie, and Lisa then says, oh yeah, and I want an apology too, because the account was allegedly directed at Lisa, but it was named something derogatory towards Jen Shah, in her prison, whatever, incarceration, if you will. And so basically the point is that the reason Lisa didn't want to confront Angie or her husband was because they likely know that Lisa has fake accounts too. Process that for a second, right? So the account's made, it's, on Twitter, tweeting negative things. It has this negative name towards Jen Shah. Lisa Barlow sends her these screenshots from her conversation with Angie about how her husband made up this fake account because she was feeling attacked. She forwards those to Jen. She pumps Jen up. She's like, this is messed up, la, 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 la. And Jen said that Lisa was pushing the narrative on her so harshly that that's what made a red flag go off. And she's like, actually, we'd never even talked about it again until we start, we were going to film. And again, like, why do I have to be the one to confront her? But it makes sense because Angie's obviously going to respond with like telling Lisa like what a hypocrite she is. And if Angie is going to be exposed for making fake accounts, then she's probably going to think Lisa should too. So Lisa covering her hiney. That made sense to me. I was like, you know what? That does make sense if you guys think about it. So those are some of the things that I took from Up and Adam, and of course from last night's episode. Just, some pointers. I never am good at giving you guys just like a review scene for scene because my brain. And I always have like tea and things floating around in it that I want to tell you. So I do make notes and try to make sure I give you guys like the good stuff before just my opinion. Jen also called, I think she called them thirsty non-snowflake holding is what she called the Angies. But I didn't get to see her address the TMZ whole facade. So if you guys watch the Up and Adam, I think in that interview she allegedly discusses the whole TMZ thing, which we've talked about. Actually, I don't know if we did because I did do a video on it, but I can't remember. I didn't post a video that I did, I think yesterday, because it was taking so long to upload. It didn't even get uploaded, so I couldn't even remember. And like I said, I was watching Real Housewives of Salt Lake City thinking it was like the wrong episode, the old episode. It took me a while. So those are things I wanted to leave you with today, guys. Also, Ronald Richards is on Instagram and he's on Twitter, and he is saying this, okay? He's saying, Jen Shah update. We are 13 days out from her sentencing brief. Based upon the recent outburst, she is now realizing he, instead of she, will be incarcerated for a very long time. She is starting to panic. She bungled her entire case with the last minute plea deal, sentencing for 12/15/22. Now, notice that he says she bungled her entire case with a last minute plea deal. Do you guys remember what Ronald Richards was saying about Jen Shah in this case? He was saying she better take a plea deal because she doesn't have the manpower to fight the federal government, who has endless resources, people to stay up all night long. They can work around the clock. And it wouldn't make sense for her to try to fight this case with, you know, an attorney. Even if he's a great attorney, he has other clients, okay? So I think that's funny that he said that. Hey, Krista, I do see your text messages. I don't know what time it is right now, 4:25. I might be able to, I might not, because my baby is about to wake up from her nap, and I gotta turn into mom mode and hustle around and make dinner and do the dishes. It's not fun sometimes. It's okay, you know. I'm not complaining, just saying. Anyways, guys, so that's what Ronald Richards is saying about Jen Shah. And he is obviously referencing the whole TMZ thing, and that's, you know, fine. But I just think it's kind of like, you know, a little bit shitty of him to be talking about how she needs to take a plea and she doesn't have the manpower to try to fight the government, and especially this super directive, like, because whatever department or city or jurisdiction that's prosecuting her, I think because she was in New York City when she committed the crimes, they're part of the prosecution team, and they have like a 99% conviction rate. That's high as ATF, okay? That's like everyone that's walking in there is getting convicted. 1%, you're not going to be the 1%. Don't ever think you're going to be that 1%, because you're not. You're not. You can't. It's like that, the probability of that, terrible, scary, for sure. I definitely think that she is under a lot of stress. I feel bad. I hope that she can get her victims paid. And I would love to see people have all of that energy for Tom and Erica and the people in the judicial system that let us down, just like the California State Bar, who came out and said that they had reports of Tom's misappropriated funds 10 years prior, how many victims that would have saved, how many millions of dollars that would have saved. You know, his judge was a mistress. You know, she's breaking the very law that she's sitting on a bench, you know, inflicting on other people, but she's not following it. So it's just allegedly, of course. So it just becomes very difficult, I think, to navigate for viewers, because if you don't know this stuff, legal is not easy to understand. That's why not everyone is an attorney. So just imagine the impending doom you would feel if you knew that, like, no matter what, you're gonna have to go. Like, the probability that they're gonna, you know, suspend all of it, I don't know. I think if she could get her restitution paid, it would be very, very more likely if she could go into the court and say that she's paid her restitutions, her victims have been made right. She would probably see a big reduction, you know, something going for her and feeling good about that. But I don't know. Also want to point out, guys, it looks like we're going to see a scene with one of the ladies saying that that one of their friends is like working with the feds. They're working as an informant on Jen Shah. Did you guys see that? I wanted to tell you guys, I keep saying, I'm telling you, Erica Girardi is an informant. I'm telling you, when it comes out in a couple of years, I hope you all are around to remember that I said that. Reality T said, yes, it is not fun. I'm wondering today how she is so upbeat. She's probably really just faking it till she, you know, just trying to get through little by little, but it's going to make for a hard holiday because I think she has a sentence on the 13th, so she'll have Thanksgiving, which means that'll be impending on them, like what it's, the court date coming up, how much time are they going to give her, how much are you going to be away, who's going to do what, like who's taking care of Omar, on and on and on and on and on. Because how long are you going to make a plan to be away? If you're planning to be away, how long do you plan to be away for? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, look at Joe and Teresa. Joe wasn't making any money when she went away. She came home, busted her ass, and paid all of their restitution. So Joe Giudice actually had it better coming out of prison than when he went in, because after being in prison for 3 years, because he basically came out with a clean slate. He was out of the hole, and they were in the hole big time. Sadly, he was deported, of course, and we love Joe and Teresa because they are great parents, and we love watching them on our screen. But yes, she's facing 11 to 15 years. It's a long time. And then she'll be sentenced, and I don't think they'll take her. Now, depending on the attorney and depending on the person, typically if you or I went to court and it was our sentencing day, we would be sentenced, and if we were sentenced to jail, they would handcuff us and we would go about our way to serve our prison sentence. But when you're rich and you're with the federal government and you're going to be in a federal prison, sometimes they let you go home, and then you have a date that you have to go turn yourself into the prison. Usually between the sentencing time and that time, the famous or rich person will get someone that can help fill them in. You know what I mean? Like what really to expect. Someone that's been in that institution or the process, whatever the case may be. I think Jen Shah will be she is stronger than she thinks she is, but I think she'll be way better off than she's anticipated in her mind, because she will have people that know her from the housewives, and they will want to be kind and look out for her, and she'll figure it out. She has street smarts. She'll be okay. I think it's more so the family aspect. It's not necessarily just the prison life herself that she'll endure, but the fact that the separation between the family is probably, I think, very hard, especially for mothers. I think it's just as hard for men if they've been full-time fathers with their children, but that's neither here nor there. So you guys let me know what you think. I gotta hop off here and go make dinner for my baby. She's gonna be crying in a few minutes. Trust me, y'all will hear it. She cries loud. She wants to make sure that I hear her. So I'm gonna have to get her up and wear her out and make dinner. And I'm so glad that you guys could join me today to talk Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I wanted to know what you guys think. Am I shadow banned? I have never went so long without getting any, my numbers growing. If anyone knows anything about that, could they DM me or something, or even leave a comment, and I'll go find you on Instagram, something, because I have never went like this without getting new subscribers, and I don't know if I'm shadow banned. I don't know if I haven't. Can you guys see the super chat option? Can anyone let me know if in a live video you guys can see that? Because I feel like I can't get that figured out either, and I never used to have problems with it. But definitely, she says collab with others. Definitely going to. I'm not Karma. Definitely not giving up. I love you guys and I love doing this. So if I am shadow banned, then I'm gonna just pull through. But I just wanted to know. Okay, Addison says she could see it. Awesome. Thank you so much. I think I fixed that last night because I didn't have a setting correct. So okay, guys, well, make sure you let me know what you guys think of last night's episode. I encourage you, if you love Salt Lake City and you want to know some behind the scenes stuff, go check out Up and Adam. Yes, collab and post, says Catherine. If you guys have, hi, Karma. I'm sorry. I don't know why. Don't be mad that I said she, Karma, not shadow banned, but it may be low engagement. Okay, if you guys have anyone that you would like to see me collab with and you want to comment. I always read your guys' comments. I usually am really good about responding early, but sometimes I get behind and then it just builds up and then I'm behind even further. So once in a while it takes me a couple of days and I always apologize, but I read everyone's Callie says, I see top chat and live chat only. See, that's so weird. I laugh when you say her. Karma, you should have corrected me. My goodness. I mean, my eyesight's bad. Can't you tell I have to squint to read your comments? I have glasses. I hate to wear them. I just hate to wear them. Just hate it. So yes, guys, please let me know. Haven't watched Real Housewives of Salt Lake City yet, but find it boring, says Callie. I know. Are you guys gonna follow Potomac? If you're not following Salt Lake City, who are you gonna follow? You gotta follow Potomac, because if not, then you're gonna fall out of the whole loop of Housewives. But I do think New Jersey is going to be coming in the middle of December. Somebody posted on Instagram that Teresa had announced the date as like February 1st or something. I don't believe that. Selma said she doesn't get notifications regularly. Karma, he said to historian group with lives with others and do StreamYard with your followers. I am StreamYard right now. Thank you for telling me that, Selma. I wonder if it was like that all the time or if it just became, it literally has just been like the last couple of weeks. I never used to put tags on my Sorry about that, guys. I forgot to turn my notifications off. I never have had that happen to me. I've never used tags. I only ever used hashtags. So I thought at first maybe that was the problem. Well, and I say like I've literally stayed at the same number of subscribers for 2 weeks. My last like 4 or 5 videos have had like 200-300. Callie says no notifications either, question mark. Oh my gosh. Karma says I'm Bella, but it didn't alert me. This one though was only 5. I literally was just gonna come on. I wasn't even gonna set something, so it was only like 5 minutes before. But I'm gonna do one in advance and see it, make sure everyone gets an alert. I'm gonna like put one together for in a couple of days and post it and see if everyone gets a notification on it. Who would shadow ban me? I don't even really understand who does that. Like Instagram itself does it? Like I thought people got together and shadow banned you because they didn't like you. Like they canceled you or whatever. Like Kanye. I don't know. So yes, guys, please leave me your comments and let me know if you get besides this video, if you typically get my notifications, and also anyone you want to see me collab with. I love to hear you guys' ideas, and then let me know who you guys are watching. It will be Diana. Some people say going live like an hour gets more people ready. That makes sense. A lot of changes going on in YouTube and Twitter. Callie said that makes sense too. Karma says, I'm Belle, but it didn't alert me. It will be Diana. LOL. Yeah, let me know, guys, and then let me know if you're watching Salt Lake City or if you're watching Potomac or if you found something else that you like. Callie says, no, it's YouTube. A lot of changes. Dang, why would they do it? Just randomly, or did I say something offensively? Because I'm monetized in all my videos, so that's so weird. It's like hard enough to try to figure out technology. Reality Diamond sets his a day before. I know, I like that. I know. I'm gonna get a schedule. I've just been sporadic. I don't usually go live that much. I try to make my videos short and sweet to the point because a lot of people appreciate that. So but I love to be able to talk with you guys and, you know, message back and forth. I love that. And I'm having guests coming on. So my schedule has been a little bit different, but I'm going to get on a steady schedule, set those, you know, thumbnails and those tapings in advance for you guys for sure. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Freddie is good. We can talk on his live, LOL. I know. I love him. He's so funny. I've known Freddie for a while now, and he's always been so nice to me. So nice. So I appreciate him. And I appreciate all of you guys. Then make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, put your notifications on, and have a great day.